What's up, guys? Professor Oak here. We've got some invasions on screen, but I really just want to talk. Is that okay? Can I just talk? I've got some things to say. I don't know exactly what all I'll say in this video, but I wanted to say some things. So let me pose a question to everyone out there. Is this a competitive video game? Do we think this is a competitive video game? I don't know if I do. So what is a competitive video game? Might be where we start to figure that out. What is a competitive video game? I've actually looked that up for you guys. An easy way to classify whether a video game is competitive or non-competitive. It is a competitive video game when the focus of the game is on winning or losing. It's a non-competitive video game when the focus is on enjoyment, fitness, or the improvement of your own personal health. So is this a competitive video game? Well, I guess that would depend on how you play it. You see, I know a lot of PvEers, they are very focused on enjoying this game, on improving their own mental health through having really good friends help them not have to struggle ever in a game, or something like that. I don't know, but I know that they are very focused on the enjoyment, and you would think, and now that word "think" it's dangerous, but we are gonna think that competitive, or rather that PvPers, they are playing this game to win or lose, right? And that makes this a competitive game, right? But that's not what they say. That is not what PvPers say. If you go online and post your opinion, which is a dangerous thing to do, please don't do it unless you are thick-skinned. But if you go online and post one of your opinions about how to win at this game better, what the fact of the matter is with what wins and what loses, what's good and what's bad in this game, if you say something that even sort of goes against the idea of you should be naked with a club and one shield or something. Well, dude, I guess that you would think that if you care about winning. Well, dude, I just want to have fun. Well, bro, yeah, of course, if you want to win all that, I bet you use thrusting swords. That's what you hear online. From the people who claim to be PvPers. From the people who claim to call themselves duelists, or invaders, or the lovely term bad red men. They say it's not about winning, bro. Sir, you're a PvPer. You are a player versus player. And you're telling me this isn't about winning or losing? Okay. Okay. That's mighty sus. That's mighty sus. But let's keep talking about, is this a competitive video game? Now, like, you've probably heard the term esports before. You know, you've got your things like League of Legends, Halo, Call of Duty even. You know, I personally am a big fan of fighting games. Even Pokemon has its own World Championship series called the VGC tournaments. That's video game championships for Pokemon. Of course, they also have the TCG, the trading card game. There are many forms of competitive video games. Is this one? Is this even closely related to one? Honestly, I'm not sure anymore. I know that you can have immense skill while playing this game. I watch people. I've idolized G9 for probably 2-3 years now. Stilovsky is someone who's been newer to me, but I've really enjoyed their content. People like Ouroboros was like an initial YouTuber that I saw that I was like fascinated by, and there are many more that I'm probably gonna forget, but these people inspired me. I was someone who played competitive fighting games. Mortal Kombat 9, Tekken 6, Tekken 7, Mortal Kombat X, Mortal Kombat 11. I dabbled in Street Fighter 4, Street Fighter 5 a little bit. Super Smash Bros. Melee, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Fighting games were like my bread and butter, and admittedly I played some generic ass fighting games for those who play like BlazBlue or Guilty Gear that are listening, like, oh, this guy only plays like the most brand name. Yeah, well, I grew up with a PlayStation 1 and that's where I learned about video games, so I've loved the same things most of my life. My name's Professor Oak, for God's sake. I love Pokemon, and I'm 29 years old, so... Anyways, that little bit of rant aside, very into competitive video games. My friends had introduced me to Dark Souls 1. This was around the time of like 2012 or 13. I guess it had to have been like 2013. But I was very into Mortal Kombat 9, the first Injustice, and Skyrim at the time. And Skyrim was my wind-down game. It was my relaxing game. The game that I played when I didn't really feel like trying or grinding too hard in a video game to get better or to make sure I won. Because let's be real. When you're very invested in being good in a video game, when you're very invested in being good at something at all, and you fail, there's no worse feeling. There's no worse feeling than that. You're trying your hardest to succeed at something and you fail. Awful, awful feeling. So I would go over to Skyrim, you know, get rid of that bad juju. I'd go kill some guards, I'd go slay a dragon. I'd go play through with just illusionary magic. Something really simple like that. And then you have a couple friends of mine say, hey, Austin, you like competitive games, and you like PvP a lot, but you also like the Skyrim game. What's up with that? And I would tell them, I mean, it's just something for me to wind down with, a little, PvE, a little something just to relax. And they said, you know what you'd like? The least relaxing video game ever created. And I said, you're damn right I would. So I got Dark Souls. And Dark Souls, it was like a whole new world to me. There was this game that was just like Skyrim. It was medieval fantasy. It was, high fantasy storytelling. Very great. But it also had this PvP element that my obsessive brain loved the shit out of. And, Dark Souls 1, I was a scrub. If I got invaded, that was a nightmare. I enjoyed it. I wanted to try my best, but it was stress, and my palms were sweaty, and I would cuss at the TV if they killed me, and I would cuss at myself even more, because, like I said, the failure, I want to be good at things, and I wasn't good at it. So Dark Souls 2, I actually played more than Dark Souls 1 because I had a huge group of friends that played it constantly. Only like 1 or 2 of them engaged in PvP at all, were invaders, and like 3 or 4 of them were straight up PvE guys, like with opinions similar to what you'll see on the main subreddit for Elden Ring. And those people were my buddies, so I didn't have much of an online interest in the game. My knowledge of the game came from the people that showed me the game and how they played it. And I played mostly with my PvE friends. My best friend was one of the invaders, and he would constantly tell me how to refine my build to make it more optimal. He would tell me weapons that were and weren't worth using, essentially. And, to be honest, I didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. I didn't understand. I didn't care, even. Like, I would use what looked cool to me. And I know a lot of people are still in that same exact mindset, and that's fine, that's a perfect way to play the game, but you're not going to be any good at PvP, and thinking that you can play that way and that you're good at the game is like blasphemy to me. Like, the first part of being good at a game is understanding a game. If you don't understand what's good and bad and why people use it and why you should use it if you think that you're going to perform well, then, like, you just don't understand the game. And if you don't understand the game, why do you think you're good at it? Oh, bro, I only need a broadsword and a rickety shield. No, you don't. You need way more than that, and I promise you only win matches against people who are terrible, and because you won 10 in a row today, you think you're great. If you just assume you're an average person, if everyone can drop their ego and just assume that they're an average person, half the people are worse than you and half the people are better than you. So yeah, you're beating the shit out of half the people. That doesn't make you good at the game at all. In fact, I would assume that some of those people that you've beaten the shit out of might have had a bad day, and on a good day, they would have beaten the shit out of you. It's just that simple. If you play the best player every day with your straight sword and rickety shield, you're gonna lose every day. That's just because of your equipment, and you're never gonna get better because you're trying to unlock a door with a noodle. You don't have the key. It's just a crazy mindset, but I'll digress on that point. And I'm not at all dunking on the entire community. There have been some really cool people that I've met. It's just so many people that I have, like, interacted with. They seem to not really know much at all about fighting games or, like, video games at all. They don't know about terms like footsies or neutral. They don't understand why things are powerful or not. Some of you guys are great, but, like, I hear a lot. I hear a lot of things. Most of the things that I hear people say are good in this game completely rely on your opponent being stupid. Being, like, most of the people that I think play this game PvP-wise are, honestly, actually PvEers that don't understand anything about PvP in video games. They will tell you to use certain attacks that, why would a human let you do that? Why would another person sit there and be like, I think he's gonna do that thing, I better sit here and wait until it's over? Like, what are you talking about? I had someone today tell me to counter Fingerprint Shield with the Death's Poker. Are you kidding me? Like, and he was like, well, if they are dodging it, then they can't be blocking too. As a competent person with a brain that functions, I'm going to tell you that if I use Fingerprint Shield with a poking weapon of some sort to get the shield poke or anything like that, and I am abusing you by blocking all of your attacks, not being able to be guard broken, not taking any damage, and poking you in return, and then I see you even have a Death's Poker, start the animation because it is a 2-part animation, I'm not going to keep blocking. I'm not going to stand there. And the fact that I didn't keep blocking isn't going to teleport you out of your Death Poker animation and make you able to hit me all of a sudden. And if you do come try to hit me now, I'm just going to block again. Like, I don't understand the disconnect in some people's brain with the fact that there is a human being just as intelligent as you playing with the controller on the other side. Like, I just don't get it. That fundamental aspect of this community is disappointing. And I think that, in itself, is why I don't think this is a competitive game. Nobody that plays this game has a competitive mindset. Everyone wants to be really special and fancy, and they don't care about winning or losing. And when you confront them about winning or losing, they either have no idea what they're talking about, or they do everything they can to protect their own opinion and the way that they are coming off. They don't actually have any interest in honest discourse about this game. So yeah, that's my rant. I've gotten it all off my chest. We'll go back to happy and loving everything. Love this game, love the community. Hope I didn't scare you guys off. Love you. We've got experience share tomorrow. We'll have a couple more videos this weekend and early next week. Thanks so much for watching. Smell you later.